Hey you all, I'm Ricky Carson. Welcome back to my channel. Guys, I just want to first, before we get into the video, just want to disclose the fact that I am so sweaty and I'm so hot and I just came back from the gym, and for some reason I always want to go straight into a video right after the gym. I don't know if it's a combination of having caffeine, it's a combination of I've been out, I've been doing stuff, I got my blood flowing, or if it's probably both of the two. Either way, I find it way more helpful. I feel way more energetic when I do it right after a workout, which is so funny too though, because for the longest time that was not the case. But now I feel like I have like a healthier way of approaching workout and gym, and I've been seeing a lot of gains, and so I'm not like slowing down, but I'm definitely like treating myself with more respect in the gym, and also because I want to be able to do these videos with as much energy as an enthusiasm as I possibly can. So this is just all good news. I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling good. So with that said, let's get into it. So I've known I've been a left-handed person since probably pre-K. Honestly, I've not had a moment in my life, a time in my life where I was ever using my right hand for dominant things like writing or even typing. You definitely have a dominant hand that leads to that. And so I've always been a southpaw. It's never been like, it's not socially, I guess it hasn't been a problem, but practically it has been a problem because I am not very proficient on keyboards, and for the longest time I thought I was just like slow like that. I was just like, okay, I guess I can't get this hand-eye coordination, if you will, down to the T. And then once I started working for the Oregon State Legislature, and if you guys don't know about that, you can click the video here. I kind of divulge into everything, what it was like working for the Oregon State Legislature, the government, and how freaking, surprise, Oregon still has racist people in its legal systems. But that's another topic for another one. I'll put it up here right again. Click here if you want to get into that. But what I learned when I was working there is that the reason why I wasn't being proficient enough in, at least to my standards, in the expectations of being able to type quite fast, is because the keyboards are set up for right-handed people, for dominant hand. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it, but if you are a right-handed person, and statistically 90% of you guys are, you probably have never even thought that like being right-handed gives you benefits for, say, using a keyboard. But I want to jump back to that percentage. So about 90% of, like, these are in broad like binary terms. Obviously there are people who are ambidextric, blah blah blah, you know what I'm saying. And then there are people who maybe do like 70% one arm, 30% the other. But painting with a broad brush here, about 90% of the world's population is right-handed, and about 10% of the world's population has been consistently left-handed. Now, there's many theories, debates on why this is. I don't quite understand it myself. I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly the evolutionary reasons for why we consistently have like dual, like left-handed, right-handed. But I find it really interesting that systemically throughout human recordings that there has been a really steady percentage of people who are southpaws, who are left-handed. And being left-handed does not correlate to what I'm going to share with you guys next, but that's also really interesting because though I personally believe that there's more than just this percentage, about 10% of the population is like identifies as LGBTQIA plus, and here we go, keep on going. So I just think that it's really interesting that in human evolution, there's always going to be a minority of some sorts of thing. So like, well, I just shared, like, there's always going to be a minority when it comes to sexuality, and it seems like there's always going to be and always have been a minority for left-handed people. Now, I shared with you guys my troubles with keyboards, but that's not where it ends. I have problems with scissors, with mouses, like computer mouses. Like, I have to use my right hand for this. It just feels so weird if I try using my left hand. And also these grooves. Correct me if I'm wrong, like, internet, but because I haven't done my research specifically on mouses, but I would be surprised if these weren't designed to grasp the hand of, like, to fit the hand perfectly of someone who's right-handed. And scissors, they do make left-handed scissors, but growing up, those were very rare to find in my classroom. The only time I had them were like a couple of grades in elementary school, and I think like once or twice in middle school and high school. So I've learned to use scissors with my right hand. There's lots of things that I subconsciously do with my right hand that I'm not aware is like necessarily being left-handed or right-handed, but the things that I am aware is workplace accidents. I can't remember where. I'll put it down here, but there's like 2,000, 3,000 left-handed people die or get injured on the job every single year because they're using equipment, tools that are designed for right-handed people. And that is fucking insane, guys. Like, even I can't remember exactly the number, but just the fact that, like, this was in the thousands is just mind-boggling to me. I mean, I already have to deal with a lot of things that want to kill me on purpose. And then the idea of, like, dying because someone made a tool that I am not, like, naturally gifted towards, like, using, is just like, oh my god, guys. Like, yeah, so there's that. That's a huge challenge, actually. But I just realized that when I was telling you guys about the keyboard situation at the office, I didn't even get into why I even brought that up in the first place. So I had that epiphany when I was working at my desk, and I asked my manager if she happened to have a left-handed keyboard, and she was like, I'll look for it. She never got back to me on that. It wasn't a priority, and whatever. It wasn't a priority for her, but they do exist. You can go on Amazon. They do exist. But I just like always think, like, if I was taught at a younger age on a left-handed computer, like keyboard, like how much more proficient I would be at. And this is saying something because my first year in elementary school, which was my first year in kindergarten, that was the first year that school had computers in it. And so from the very get-go, the school mascot was the Geckos. Garfield, hey. From the get-go, I was being taught how to use computers, but I was trying to use my right hand as my leading hand in that, and that only fucking slowed me down. You think it would, like, well, maybe it didn't necessarily slow me down, but it definitely did not, it was not very accommodating for me. So there's that. Listen, like, I'm fortunate that I didn't grow up in a place that like is really superstitious, because, you know, I think that whether you're left-handed or right-handed, most people have heard the trope that left-handed people are descendants of Satan, and this trope was one that was brought up to me actually quite early on in elementary school, because fortunately no one wanted to try making me right-handed, but I was told, like, no, there are parents in the past, there are teachers in the past. In fact, I would be surprised if this is not still happening today, but who will force their kid or a child or a student to switch hands from being left-handed to right-handed because they actually believe that if you're left-handed, you're, like, devilish, you're satanic, and you're just up to no good, which is so bizarre. Guys, can we, like, acknowledge how fucking bizarre that is? Just because you're using a different hand they think that it's like devilish. I'm not a devil. I'm not a fucking devil. Anyway, so yeah, fortunately I was not forced to convert, but I think like in living in a right-handed world, I am ambidextrous. Guys, sorry. I cannot say that word. I don't think I've said it enough in my life, but I just can't say that word. Ambidextrous. Ambidextric. Ah! I think naturally being left-handed in a right-handed society and world, you kind of are in a lot of ways. And I'm not saying right-handed people aren't too, but like when you're making a product, when you're making something, they're never going to be like, yes, the majority of people need to be able to feel comfortable using this in their left hand. Like that's never top of mind. In fact, it's probably never back of mind if we're being honest here, because I don't think, like, again, about 90% of people are right-handed, and so they just don't even think about it. Left-handed, right-handed, I know it looks different for you guys on the screens, but if you are correct, you are right. If you are wrong, you are left. So we also have biases in the differences in like what dominant hand. Because when you're talking, if you're right, if you're correct, then you're right. You're right. If you're left, then you're wrong. You're going the wrong direction. You're fucking it up. You're not good. You're not doing well. So we have those biases in just the way we speak, not related to not related to hands or anything. But a few years ago, I had the epiphany. You'll learn about this about me, guys. Like, I tend to have lots of epiphanies, and maybe they're not really that noteworthy, but here it is. I had epiphany about what sold down the river meant. You know the saying, "You sold me down the river." Well, that saying stems from like slavery, Mississippi, South, literally people being sold down the river, enslaved people being sold down the river. And so that's where that saying comes from, is like, you sold me down the river. You sold me down the river to my fucking doom. I don't know why I felt the need to share that, but I just thought that was like really interesting in how a lot of things that we say, a lot of people don't question the origins of it, which, here and there, like English is a large, humongous, complex language that has many different, characteristics and influences, French, Germanic, all of that. But I don't know, it's just like when I found out about the right-handed, left-handed thing, I was just like, oh my god. Oh, it makes sense now. Yeah, this world wasn't built or designed for people like moi to be able to fully thrive. I wouldn't be surprised if coffee cups turn out to be like some weird thing where it's designed for right-handed people. The point is, this world is designed for right-handed people. Left-handed people literally die. They literally die if they don't have the right tools sometimes. And I don't know. I think we're in a good time though, because like left-handed people, I'm not a scientist. Don't chain me to what I'm just saying right now. But like left-handed people, what they use the right side of the lobe. Obviously you use both sides, but I think that predominantly they use the right side. That's where your skill, like that's where your like creativity and stuff. And then I think the right hand is your like skills and like mobility. I don't know. The point is, left-handed people use predominantly different cortex parts of their brain, just in using normal like functioning motor skills and stuff. And I think that does have an impact on your brain's chemistry, your makeup, whether or not it's like personality defining, whether or not it's like a nature and nurture thing. I definitely believe that does have an impact on on who you are, not necessarily being good or bad in those binaries, but I think it just has an effect on you. It's also very rare, like, remind you, like, there's about 10% of us, okay? Maybe there'd be more if less people were so superstitious. But there's about 10% of us, and, like, whenever I meet another southpaw, someone who's left-handed, I just, like, oh my god, look at you. It's kind of like seeing a black person in a predominantly white town. You're like, whoa, hey, brother. I'm just, like, I always, like, vibe with them. They're always cool people, if I do say so myself. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, a lot of creative people are left-handed. And so even though we're quite rare, a lot of like intellectual or creative or just like naturally mind expanding collegiate circles, I do disproportionately meet a lot of left-handed people. And it's not like, and it's one of those things where it'd be like, you know, you can't tell until someone's actually like writing and like they're actually caught in the act of being left-handed. So there's not like otherwise there's not an like outward signifier that you're left-handed, which not necessarily means that you need that's a requirement. That's fine. I'm sure it fucking saved a lot of people's lives in the past when like that was considered satanic. So I'm not complaining there, but I don't know, maybe I should like join like some type of Facebook group of left-handed people. This is so bizarre. I don't know where this is going. But yeah, essentially those are the challenges that left-handed people face, and just like the weird nuance in living in a world that is catered to literally the opposite dominant hand. With that said, guys, I post new videos every single day. Sometimes they're videos like this, a lot of times they're vlogs, and sometimes we talk about politics, but it's always lighthearted, it's always fun, and we always end on a good note. With that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out. Thank you so much to the new subscribers. We're growing this channel. We're going up. We're taking our time, but we're going up. All right, I'll see you guys. Love you. Peace. Bye.
Hi, sorry for my interjection, but I thought it'd be important that we look up the most famous left-handed people in the world so you guys can get an understanding of, yes, we are a minority, but we are plenty influential. We got Barack Obama, Angelina Jolie, Oprah Winfrey, Paul McCartney, Prince William, Babe Ruth, Bill Gates, Tom Cruise, Jimi Hendrix, Justin Bieber, Keanu Reeves, Lady Gaga, Leonardo DiCaprio, Nicole Kidman, Bill Clinton, Jennifer Lawrence, Hugh Jackman, David Bowie, Henry Ford, Napoleon Bonaparte, Julia Roberts, Sarah Jessica Parker, Aristotle, Buzz Aldrin. Like, oh, there are so many of us. Anyway, I just thought you guys should know that.